Pressure mounts on Biden after ABC News interview. But beyond that, the Democrats are back in D.C. Congress is back in session. And of course, now they're not just talking over Zoom calls. They're talking and maybe even whispering inside of the hallowed halls of Congress. This is a dangerous prospect for Joe Brandon, who wants to maintain his grip of power. Let's take a look at what's going on in the United States of America.
The race for the White House and President Biden struggling to save his candidacy over the weekend as senior Democratic lawmakers start calling for the president to step aside. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the story. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, the Biden campaign had hoped that the president's big interview with you would quiet concerns from the party. But this morning, the number of Democrats calling for the president to exit this race is growing. Even some of his allies are making it clear there are still questions he needs to answer this week, warning the clock is ticking. This morning, President Biden, defiant as ever, adamant he can survive this crisis.
Yes.
But a growing number in his own party aren't so certain. Sources tell ABC News that
it's so funny because, like, look, Democrats are fucking cowards across the board. So, like, obviously, even a limited number of Democratic, like, even when you hear like a little bit of chirping from this otherwise feckless institutionalist Democratic Party, you have to make the assertion that behind closed doors, it is a fucking 5 o'clock panic, okay? Just pure and utter chaos happening behind the scenes. That, like, when you have high-ranking Democratic Party officials, senior Democratic Party members like fucking Jerry Nadler, okay, coming out and being like, you cannot continue. What the fuck is going on? 5 o'clock alarm, 5 alarm fire, not a 5 o'clock fire. I'm ESL. Shut the fuck up. My point is, if you hear someone like Adam Schiff come out on Sunday broadcast and say, maybe it's time to step aside, if that is what you think is best, know that what they are saying behind closed doors are so much worse, okay? So much worse. You need to understand that. These guys are not exactly known to make bold claims or fuck up the bag. They are not known as like disruptive people, okay? Especially when there is an election coming up.
privately, at least 4 top House Democrats told colleagues on a call Sunday it's time for Biden to end his campaign.
So I don't see the solution here because if he drops out, it's near guaranteed Trump wins. Why? Why is that it's near guaranteed Trump wins if he drops out? Every single person that is committed to voting for Joe Biden right now is going to vote for whoever the fuck is the Democratic Party candidate. The idea that like there are Brandon or busters in the Democratic Party is the most laughable notion I have ever even encountered in American politics over the course of the past 10 years of my professional political commentary career. Not a single person is like, I'm a Brandon or buster. I'm busting. I'm not fucking voting if it's not Joe Brandon. Okay? The only reason why there are even holdouts that are saying, no, Joe, keep going, Joe, is because they are that committed to the Democratic Party. These are the vote blue no matter who constituents. It is only you will only end up as long as you do not, as long as this tumultuous period is the chaos in this tumultuous period is kept to a minimum, okay? And they very quickly and swiftly deal with this transition. It's not even a fucking question. They are only going to gain more votes as a consequence of this, not lose votes. Okay? That is ridiculous. The moment that Biden drops out, every single person writing for him right now will immediately pivot. It will instantly end. No one will care that Biden got pushed out. Exactly. You think Harry Hassan or David Pakman or any number of like currently, currently defenders of current like ardent supporters of Joe Biden are not going to turn around and immediately support who the fuck is going to be put in his place? Are you crazy? Are you fucking crazy? The only reason why they're defending Biden so vociferously is because they personally think he's the best candidate the Democratic Party has put forward because that's what the Democratic Party signaled originally. It is that simple. Ridiculous. Ridiculous to make any sort of assertion otherwise. Yeah, Brian Tyler Cohen. You think Brian Tyler Cohen's like, oh, no, I'm sorry, guys. I cannot in good conscience like vote for anyone that's not Biden. That'd be pretty funny. Do you know a single person? Do you know a single fucking person that is a Brandon or Buster? Like a single one.
Congressman Jerry Nadler, Mark Takano, Joe Morell, and Adam Smith, joining 5 other Democrats who've made the same plea publicly. But
this is massive, by the way. Like that right there is fucking massive. The Democrats do not ever rock the boat like this. Okay?
Sources say Minority Leader Hakeem.
Yeah, like Hutch, for example. Yeah. Hutch is going to be like, oh, dude, Joe Biden is like, Kamala Harris is put in place of Joe Biden. Sorry, I can't vote for Kamala Harris. What are you, crazy? Like, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm thinking of like all the people who are like unconditional dick riders of the Democratic Party, like Harry Hassan or whatever. Like, you think they're going to fucking be like, yeah, this new guy or gal, not it for me. No, the only person that could replace Biden that would maybe lose some votes but gain more in the long run would be Hillary Clinton. Okay? Like, I don't even think personally that regardless of the fucking charisma black hole that Kamala Harris is, I don't think that there's enough like anti-Kamala sentiment out there for people to be like, yeah, I can't vote for her. Like maybe the fact that she's a woman or the fact that she's black, that could play a role in like maybe losing some votes overall. But I don't think that these people who are chalk committed right now to the Biden regime are going to turn around and be like, no. Every single person, you have only more votes to gain in this process. As long as it's not like a massive shakeup and it spells chaos and confusion and division in the party, as long as this is neatly and tightly wrapped up and swiftly dealt with, this transition is swiftly dealt with, it is ridiculous. The Democratic Party's platform is seen as broadly popular, significantly more popular than the Republican Party's platform. What are you basing this shit on? Literally lying, bullshit, yes. Have you talked about the hospital in Kyiv yet or the ongoing genocide in Ukraine? Are you joking? What are you basing any of this shit on? What do you mean? What do you mean? What am I basing this shit on? Is this the Brandon or Buster? The single issue voter, which is Ukraine? Is that what it is? Polls, man. Polls. Every single person that is currently committed to Joseph Robinette Brandon is committed to the Democratic Party. Their vote blue no matter who's, okay? Why am I saying this? Because Biden's popularity is historically low. And the only people that defend Biden when his popularity is historically low are going to be people that are committed to the party platform. If you are personally asking, like, why am I saying that the Democratic Party is like broadly popular or at least significantly more popular than fucking the Republican Party? There's a thing that undermined, I don't know if you know this, maybe you were unfamiliar with what was going on in American politics or something, but there was a decision that came down from the Supreme Court that was directly in the hands of the Republican Party. The Republican Party was responsible for it, which undermined the medical freedom and the bodily autonomy of 50% of the fucking population, especially ones living in the fucking red states. That was pretty bad for the Republican Party. Okay? That in and of itself automatically put Democrats in a winning position. Even in the midst of negative real wage growth, people overwhelmingly did not give the Republican Party a major victory in the 2022 midterm election. Are we really trusting polls, though? They were wrong for like 6 cycles. Why are we talking about polls? First of all, there is no other way to fucking do commentary in this time. And secondly, you're wrong. Polls were not wrong for the last 6 cycles. They are not wrong. You just don't know how to read the fucking polls. What is this? What is this attitude? Oh, you can't look at the fucking polls. What are we supposed to look at then? Like your own personal vibes? There's plenty of other indicators. Like what? Okay, here, let's hear some electoral astrology. All right. I want to hear. What is it? Like, is your moon in Mercury? Is your Mercury in Gatorade? Is Biden you don't think Harris gets grilled the moment she's the runner? Yes. But Harris does not have the same negatives that Biden has, as in she is I'm not saying she's the best candidate. Okay. First of all, let's make no mistake. I'm not a fan of Kamala Harris. But Kamala Harris's greatest advantage is that she is not 800 years old. Okay? Now give me the indicators. Because that was not what your sentiment was. You said, oh, well, about polling. You were like, oh, polls are wrong. You're wrong. Polls are not wrong. Your interpretation might have been. But polls, they're not the greatest way to analyze an election, but it's the best we have. So what is your way of looking at the tea leaves? I want to know. Maybe there's something that you have. Maybe there's a secret way that you have a way to analyze elections and predict election results that I have just not been privy to, and I want to be informed. Okay, I'm open-minded to the things that you are mentioning. Please enlighten me. I am waiting. 2016, they were wrong. 2022, they were wrong. 2020, less wrong. No, 2022, they were not wrong. Once again, the polls were not wrong in 2022. Your analysis of the polls might have been, but the polls were not wrong in 2022. They were actually, as a matter of fact, historically accurate. Like more accurate than even 2020, if I'm not mistaken. 2020 was pretty good. 2022 was a lot better. So answer my question. You are not giving me other indicators. What is it? Are you going to talk about the yard sign? Is that what you're going to say? Yard sign politics? Is your indicator that you went to every diner? Bumper stickers? What's your indicator? Don't want to be that guy, but they were wrong in 2016. Wait, what? I know that. We're not talking about 2016. Everybody understands that in 2016, they were wrong, as in they were wrong. They were not wrong by fucking, 20, 30 points. But they were definitely wrong. Voter registration approval ratings of the incumbent. Why would you think that the approval ratings of the incumbent is not a damning indication that Biden is getting clobbered in the upcoming election? No president has ever won. No incumbent has ever won with 30% approval rating. Their reelection. Also, what do you think an approval rating is? If you were saying polls are wrong, you're like polls are wrong, which is why I'm going to show you another poll. It should be a red flag when your pick flips a debate question from one you have a popular point to your weakest. I know it was a red flag. It was a major red flag. Anyway,
Team Jeffries, who convened Sunday's call, did not take a stance. With lawmakers back on the Hill this week, the coming days will be critical.
Hello.
The president trying to restore confidence, hitting the trail hard this weekend, eager to show voters he has what it takes to beat Donald Trump.
We're on the cusp of getting so much done. I really mean it.
Barnstorming battleground Pennsylvania, the president shaking hands and snapping selfies, rallying his supporters and leaning on allies to beat back concerns from fellow Democrats.
I'm about to point to the only person.
That's right. Let's go. Let's put this fucking buffoon. This surely. I'm telling you right now, that's it. This is the guy. He will win this now, okay? They got the ogre out. They busted the ogre out who can't even fucking form 3 sentences together.
About to point to the only person that's ever kicked Trump's in an election right now.
Don't let anybody talk about your age. You a young whippersnapper.
But even the president's allies are blunt that his interview with George did not put concerns to rest.
What I do think the president needs to decide is, can he put those concerns aside? Can he demonstrate to the American people that what happened on the debate stage was an aberration, that he can and will beat Donald Trump?
In his
That's exactly why they use Fetterman to make Biden look coherent. Yeah, they're like, see, my president can speak good. Look at a guy who can speak bad.
Democrats quickly rallied around Joe Biden 4 years ago when they became convinced he was their best chance at defeating Donald Trump. One by one, other candidates dropped out of the Democratic primary and threw their support to Biden before many Americans even had a chance to vote amid the global COVID pandemic. The strategy worked. Biden captured the party's nomination and defeated Trump that November. Now, with Biden in a political crisis that threatens to end his 5-decade career, a growing number of Democrats have grown fearful that the man who stopped the second Trump presidency in 2020 may be paving the way for Trump's return in 2024. Concerns about Biden's advanced age, questions about his physical and mental health, and the fallout from a disastrous debate with Trump 2 weeks ago are raising doubts about whether the 81-year-old president can beat the 78-year-old Trump again, and even if he does, whether he is capable of serving another 4 years.
first sit down after that disastrous debate performance, the president saying that so far, Democratic leaders have urged him to stay in the race.
And if Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi come down and say, we're worried that if you stay in the race, we're going to lose the House and the Senate, how will you respond?
I go into detail with them. I've spoken to all of them in detail, including Jim Clyburn. Every one of them. They all said I should stay in the race. Stay in the race. No one said.
Yeah, this was really stupid of him to say because, like, objectively, they have been, like, kind of wishy-washy, even the people that he brought up. Like, Jim Clyburn even bringing up the chances of, like, Kamala Harris being the candidate means that they are not telling him to just simply stay in the race and that they're very excited about this. Okay? When there is so much chaos behind closed doors, him taking a position like this, a confident position like this, is only going to undermine the control he has over his own party as more and more Democrats obviously come out in the upcoming days because they see the writing on the wall and say, hey, drop out.
None of the people said I should leave.
But if they do?
Well, it's like, they're not going to do that.
You sure?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Look, I mean, if the Lord Almighty came out and said, Joe, get out of the race, I'll get out of the race.
Biden insisting only divine intervention could force him out.
If you can be convinced that you cannot defeat Donald Trump, will you stand down?
It depends if the Lord Almighty comes out and tells me that, I might do that.
But at the center of his campaign is the argument that Trump poses an existential threat to American democracy.
I love the media basically saying you can't have both. Oh my God. I never personally thought that I would hear all of my commentary be reflected verbatim, like a 1-to-1. This is like, it's like ABC or the Hasanabi broadcast. I can't tell which is which. It's crazy. It's crazy, folks. It's crazy. They're out here saying the same shit I've been saying. Both of your opinions are religion lunatics. What? I'm just saying it's wild. It's wild to see so much vindication happen in real time.
Biden pressed on what happens if he fails to stop him.
And if you stay in and Trump is elected and everything you're warning about comes to pass, how will you feel in January?
I feel as long as I gave it my all and I did.
This was probably the worst take from this entire interview, by the way. Like that in and of itself was the grossest thing he fucking said. Oh, I'll drop out if, even if I lose, then options, not opinions. Brother, you are the goodest reader. Oh, he said options. Oh, dude, as long as I tried my darndest, tried my hardest. It's like, no, dude, you can't. No, that's not a thing. Like, absolutely no one will think that. Okay? Even all of these people that are currently defending you, if you lose, some of them will look for, like, left bashing. Some of them will look to the left to be like, oh, the left is the reason why you lost or whatever. But ultimately, so many people will recognize that it is you who dropped the fucking ball.
The goodest job as I know I can do. That's what this is about.
Now that answer upsetting some in the party who say this isn't about whether or not the president gives it his all, but whether he is making the right decision to run. And this week he will try to prove that he is up to the task. He will be standing on the world stage at the NATO summit here in Washington and then holding a rare solo press conference on Thursday. George.
Okay, Mary, thanks.
Now for something a little different.
Kaya, baby, place. You know, it's place time. Yeah, good girl. Hi.
And from inside the White House, we have a special guest joining us now, the 46th President of the United States and presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden calling in to Morning.
Yeah, dude, 2024 has been, many people are saying this, folks, 2024 has been the year of the Hasanabi vindication, okay? Every single issue that I've covered extensively over the course of the past 10 fucking years, but especially in the past 4 years, every single one, vindication.
Joe, right now, good morning, sir.
Hey, Mika, I'm more than presumption. I'm going to be the Democratic nominee.
There you go.
Okay, well, Mr. President, that leads to the letter that we just received a few minutes ago. And I'm curious, there's a part of it where you talk about...
What?
To Morning Joe right now. Good morning, sir.
Hey, Mika, I'm more than presumption. I'm going to be the Democratic nominee.
There you go.
Okay, well, Mr. President, that leads to the letter that we...
Oh, no. I'm telling you, dude, Brandon's own team is cooking him, dude. They made him sign up from the bathroom. They did it again. The audio perverts are at it again, dude. They're at it again.
Just received a few minutes ago. And I'm curious, there's a part of it where you talk about the fact that you got 14 million votes, 87% of the vote. It was an open process. You only had 3 people running against you. You have 3,900 delegates. And then you ask this question, do we now just say the process didn't matter, that the voters didn't have a say? I'm curious, is that an allusion also to Donald Trump and the fact that Democrats, you believe, may now be doing the same thing that Donald Trump tried to do in 2020, and that is overthrow the popular will of Democratic voters?
Well, look, Joe, let me say it this way. The reason I've been out on the road so much all over the country, and while Trump is riding around in his golf cart, filling out his golf cart before he even hits the ball. But anyway, he hadn't been anywhere in 10 days. I've been all over the country.
Mika, you can't do that. Mika, you can't sit there and try to laugh at what he's saying. It's not. Like, there's dick riding, there's glazing, and then there's what you're trying to do. Okay? You're pre-laughing at a joke that he's trying to fire off in the midst of his attempt. Okay? You can't slobber on it that hard. It starts undermining your mental faculties when you do that. Okay? It's crazy. She's like, ha ha ha, that's so funny, Mr. President. I love the jokes that you're making. This is a Trump calls on a Fox and Friends type interview. 100%. This is literally Sean Hannity. This is like when Sean Hannity directly gives a guac 3000 to fucking Donald Trump. This is unimaginable.
Country, number one. And I've gone over the country for several reasons. One, to make sure my instinct was right about the party still wanting me to be the nominee. And all the data shows that the average Democrat out there who voted, the 14 million of them that voted for me, still want me to be the nominee, number one. Number two, the idea that Donald Trump has gained in any substantial way, has his argument to why he should be president is anywhere convincing than it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. It's just not there. And we're just starting to focus on Trump. And look, I attended services, spoke to over 600 people at Mount Airy Church of God in Christ in Philly. I stopped by campaign field offices with John Fetterman and Madeline Dean, both strongly supporting me. The president and the first lady, we spoke at a campaign ice cream social for APSME, Council 13 in Harrisburg. 40 minutes after we spoke with supporters, stopped by Denim Coffee. I mean, I was with the governor of Pennsylvania, who's still strongly supporting me. I mean, so look, and the fact is that this week I'm going to be hosting NATO Summit here in D.C., going to hold a press conference on Thursday. On Wednesday, I met with the national union leaders of the AFL-CIO. On Friday, I traveled to Detroit, Michigan for a campaign event. Just on down the line. And so I'm not getting any of what I was told. I wanted to make sure I was right, that the average voter out there still wanted Joe Biden. And I'm confident they do. And I'm confident, and like I said, the press is with me. I think they've been fairly fair. I haven't read any reporting they did today. But the fact is that, I think they have to acknowledge we had large crowds, enthusiastic crowds. And, and now they're talking about whether I use a prompter. Well, I did it all extemporaneously. The fact of the matter is, I was using prompters too. I don't get that. But at any rate, the bottom line here is that we're not going anywhere. I am not going anywhere. I wouldn't be running if I didn't absolutely believe that I am the best candidate to beat Donald Trump in 2024. We had a Democratic nominating process where the voters spoke clearly. I won 14 million of those votes, et cetera. So I not only believe that from the beginning, but I wanted to reassert it and demonstrate that it's true. And I'm going to be doing that all through this week and from here on.
So we noted yesterday there was quite a contrast. The people that were supporting you yesterday compared to, say, a lot of the Washington insiders and Hollywood moguls, and go down the list of very powerful people that want you out compared to the support that you had in Pennsylvania yesterday. That said, there are a lot of people of goodwill who love you.
This is, dude, this is so awesome. Dude, this is like the final stage of Trumpism, is that the Hollywood elite are after me. That's awesome. Yeah, dude. The Hollywood elite are after the Democratic Party's president, the incumbent president. Oh man, the real people on the ground definitely don't think I'm old as shit. It's the Hollywood perverts that are after me. It's the media that's after me. That's great. This is a winning strategy.
Who believe you did a great job in your first term, who are still
the moneyed interests and the corporate cucks are after me, says the guy who literally will go and do closed door meetings exclusively with fucking billionaires. Okay? Billionaires and millionaires. That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, no, totally.
Concerned yesterday, the topic came up of the Stephanopoulos interview, where you were asked the question, how would you feel if Donald Trump beat you? How would you feel after you lost? And you said, well, as long as I did the best I could do, that's the most important thing. That's caused Democrats concern, who believe that losing is not an option. What would you say to those who are concerned by that answer?
It's not an option, and I've not lost. I haven't lost. I beat him last time. I'll beat him this time. And this is a guy who, look, we talk about debates. Look at his performance at debates. He lied over, Trump has 50 lies. I mean, look, this is a guy who says 10% of the universe. I want to get into it. He's just a liar. And he hasn't done a damn thing since the debate. He's been riding around in a golf cart for 10 days or down in Mar-a-Lago talking with his wealthy friends. I'm not running because of these guys, Joe. I'm running because, and you know me well enough to know this from the very beginning, I ran because I never bought on to the trickle-down economic theory. I never bought into the notion that we have to walk away from the rest of the world and cave to Putin or anybody else. I've never believed any of that. And I'm confident that's where the American people are. So what I did was I went out and I wanted to make sure that there wasn't any slippage at all. And with the average voter, I don't care what the millionaires think. And by the way, 97% of all the people who contribute to us people making under 200, contribute under $200. I think we have the largest contingent ever in history. I'm not positive of that, but I think that's true. And so I want their support, but that's not the reason I'm running. I'm not running about what they think and what they care about. And by the way, you don't see.
Yeah, he's a real Bernie Sanders type, dude. A radical revolutionary Marxist. I don't care about what the millionaires think. That's why I keep doing closed door meetings with like millionaires, begging them for money. He sounds like my distant relative who has a history of not paying his debts, begging money from my dad. This is really ridiculous. I love the new method here, which is I'm the real revolutionary Marxist candidate. I don't care about the millionaires and billionaires. Respect. Yeah, that's who this guy is.
A handful of Democrats, including the top-ranking Democrats on 4 House committees, already have called on Biden to drop out of the race so the party can nominate someone else with a better chance of winning. Others are expected to soon join the growing chorus urging Biden to quit. President Biden has got to prove to the American people, including me, that he's up to the job for another 4 years, said Senator John Tester, a Montana Democrat who is facing his own tough re-election battle in November. With lawmakers returning to Capitol Hill on Monday after the 2-week 4th of July holiday recess, the next 48 hours will be crucial for Biden's re-election bid. Some major Democratic donors are looking to the party's senior leadership to get through to the president. The conversation is not just about who can defeat Trump, but whether the party should nominate an octogenarian who looks like he's slowing down to lead the country for the next 4.5 years, said Marty Dolan, a donor who shelled out $10,000 to the Biden campaign in April.
a whole hell of a lot of them flocking to Trump. You don't see a whole lot of CEOs flocking to Trump. You don't see any. You see the major economists out there talking about what I have been able to do. I don't hear anybody talking about his economic plan likely to bring America around and keep America first. And by the way, here's Trump talking about all that he's done and you know, Trump and his debate night. He's a pathological liar. He lied about Roe. He refused to accept the outcome of the election. He refused to condemn January 6th. And
look at their faces. Look at their faces as he's like trying to put together some semblance of a narrative, and they're just trying to follow what he's saying. That's crazy. Why wasn't this appearance televised? Why was it on the phone? What's your argument with the closed door meetings? That's just false comparison fallacy. Talk about the difference between the two candidates' policies instead. What? We're currently talking about Brandon versus like anybody else. Oh, yeah. Why would I? What other candidate could I be talking about? This is so fucking stupid. Like when we're talking about, I'm talking about Brandon because we're talking about Joseph Robinette Brandon not being the best possible candidate. Obviously, there are many differences. Well, not many, but there's still some differences between Joseph Robinette Brandon or the Democratic Party's platform overall and the Trump administration or the the Republican Party led by Donald Trump. But this is an idiotic conversation to have currently because this conversation is not about Trump versus Biden. This conversation is about Trump versus the best possible candidate that the Democratic Party can put forward. That's all you talk about and avoid Trump. I famously avoid talking about Donald Trump. You're right. I suspect that this is the top of the hour ad break debate coming, right? Like all I talk about is top of the hour ad break debates because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. That's all I'm saying. Please tell me that this person is not unironically a schizophrenic person hallucinating that I never criticized Donald Trump or something. What is happening, dude? I said I wanted hogs. I didn't mean I want blue anon, blue MAGA Brandon supporters that are akin to Donald Trump. When I said I want hogs, I want Trump hogs so I can make fun of them. Not the Democratic Party's own version of the same fucking hogs. It's literally the same shit except they're gay, okay? Like, either I want hogs. I don't want, like, the gay version of the same type of hog, but for Brandon, okay? What the fuck? Oh, my God, he wasn't even doing a bait. He literally is just unironically saying that I don't talk about Trump. Chatter, do you want to know why I'm mad? Because you've been following me since the year 2021. December of 2021. I cannot in good conscience assume that someone who has at least like off and on followed me for the past 3 years to be this unimaginably stupid. Ad rip? Okay, dude. Oh, it's because I ran the ad. That's not even an ad break debate. He just is watching the ad right now. That's not a bait. This person is unironically this stupid, I think.
he says, they claim he spoke with Putin before he invaded. What the hell are we doing, Joe? What are we doing? This is bizarre.
Yeah. It's a good question. I have a few questions, Mr. President, and I know you know where I stand. And yet I have a few questions. First, it's very simple. How can you assure the American people that you won't have another night like the one you did in Atlanta?
Look at my career. I've not had many of those nights. It was a terrible night, and I really regret it happened. But the fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be on faith that can intervene on your way to go to, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea I'm too old. Created over 15 million jobs, 21 million insured for the ACA, beat Big Pharma, relieved student debts for 5 million people, first black woman in the court. So I think I had a significant run, and that's how I'd measure me. Measure me what I've done. And by the way, in terms of my neurological capacity, I had a physical, a neurological physical as well in February. It's released. I released all my records, all of them. And I have a neurological test every single day. Try sitting behind this desk and making these decisions. You know it. Both of you know it. They know it. I'm not bad at what I do. And now, it doesn't mean I never make a mistake. I do. But I'm making those decisions.
Mr. President, if anybody in my family had a night like that, like if my Joe had a night like that, or my kids or anybody, I'd probably want to do some sort of workup and medical workup and make sure he's okay. Have you been tested for any age-related illnesses, pre-Parkinson's, or anything like that that might explain sort of having a night like that where you couldn't finish sentences?
Look, I was feeling so badly before the debate. When I came back, they tested me for, I thought maybe I had COVID, maybe there was something wrong, I had an infection or something. They tested me, they gave me those tests, I was clear. So, but...
Bro, she said, if my son performed that poorly, I would immediately call the head doctor. Kaya, no, that's crazy.
Look, I had a bad night, but the fact of the matter is, look at what I'm doing. I mean, let me put it this way. If there was something that was wrong that night, it's not like it comes and that's one night and it goes away. That's why I've been out. I've been testing myself, been testing everywhere I go, going out and making the case.
We are watching an old man negotiate why he still has the capacity to drive. It's crazy. Like this is like stages of grief. It's crazy. Oh, I'm just testing myself when I go out every day. That's crazy. Yeah, except he's not driving a car. He's driving a fucking nuclear submarine. You're right, Chatter. Sorry, I got the hiccups from the one spicy pepper I had.
The night of that debate, I went out. I was out till 2 o'clock in the morning. That very night, it drives me nuts, people talking about this. That very night, I was talking to large crowds. Look at the crowds we've gathered everywhere from Atlanta to North Carolina to Pennsylvania, and look at the enthusiasm. But it was right after. Where the hell's Trump been? What has...
Yeah, Trump is obviously not saying anything because you're already fucking up the bag. It's literally the best possible thing he could do. The best possible thing Trump could do right now is to stay the fuck out of the media spotlight. Why disturb your opponents when they're making a ginormous mistake? Never interrupt your enemy when they are making a mistake. He quite literally is not doing anything on purpose because you're already fucking it up. If he was running around constantly fucking chirping, the media would be up his asshole. And the narrative would shift away from Brandon's age and mental faculties to Donald Trump being a fucking fascist, which he is, by the way. I mean, he is. Dude, I can't believe there's still people fucking who think that I'm like secretly in the pocket for Trump. And that's why I'm like talking about Joe Biden's mental faculties as I have been for the past like 4 years now, openly stating that we needed someone in 2020. You are, lol. Yeah, no, totally. I'm a secret Trump supporter. Well, not a secret Trump supporter, openly a Trump supporter. RNC, please, if you're watching, give me fucking access to the RNC. I love Donald Trump. I'm a red-blooded, passionate American who loves defending the Constitution. This you? Yeah. When your talking points line up with the MSM, then it's too real for some chatters. No, that's what's crazy about this fucking narrative is that like saying I'm a Trump supporter when mainstream media's narratives do not align with mine is one thing. But like you're making it seem like Adam Schiff is a fucking Trump supporter, dude. You're making it seem like Nadler, a 900-year-old Democratic representative from fucking New York, is a Trump supporter. Like, you're out of your fucking mind. Mark Warner is a Trump supporter, is not going to, is not exactly the best possible way that you can move on with this. And the worst part is, and I keep warning people, more Democrats are going to keep coming out. And I guess you'll keep moving the fucking needle until Joe Biden drops out. And then Joe Biden is a Trump supporter. It's so fucking stupid.
Trump said or done, except deny and lie about what he's for.
Okay, so you have repeatedly said that all of these people and entities are wrong. And let me go through them. The New York Times editorial board, The Economist, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the Boston Globe, Jerry Nadler, Seth Moulton. Let me go to Julian Castro.
Trump supporters, all of them. Classic.
Tim Ryan, David Axelrod, David
Oh, you're
Remnick,
kidding.
Richard Haas. Yeah, I know which one you're responding to there. Zeke Emanuel. But they're saying that you should step aside. So what is your plan of attack moving forward? These are pretty big names.
Is to go out and keep doing their big names, but I don't care what those big names think. They were wrong in 2020. They're wrong in 2022 about the red wave. They're wrong.
I'm about to say ableist slurs. Can you unequivocally promise that you won't vote for Trump? What a fucking idiotic statement. What an unimaginably stupid, like asinine, ridiculous, like, oh, we got him. Hey, dumbass, listen to my fucking commentary. Are you stupid? How many times have I fucking said you should never, I'm spitting, that's how fucking angry I am. You should never, ever in a million years vote for Donald Trump. Who the fuck do you think you are? Oh, can you promise unequivocally that you won't vote for Trump? As though like there's a hidden premise there that is like I'm secretly in the pocket and it's going to be too hard for me to say. How do you have the gall, the audacity? Where the fuck have you been? Like, where are we coming from? These fucking new, like, oh, I started paying attention to politics for the past 4 years ass dumbasses coming in here being like, I guess it was a bad joke. I thought you were being fucking serious. It is a bad joke.
Members of the Congressional Black Caucus on Monday met with President Biden, buckling down on their support for Biden amid growing calls from Democratic members for the president to drop his 2024 re-election bid. Sources familiar with the matter shared with The Hill that Representative Stephen Horsford, chair of the caucus, extended the invitation to Biden. Horsford expressed his support for the president in a statement earlier in the day, becoming the latest in a line of CBC members to do so. A spokesperson for the Biden campaign said the call was to discuss the stakes of the 2024 election and their shared commitment to beating Donald Trump this November. Monday's meeting followed a Sunday call between Democratic committee leaders in which 4 senior Democrats called on Biden to exit the race. Citing a poor debate performance as cause for concern, 5 Democrats have publicly called for Biden to suspend his campaign. Ahead of Monday's call, Representative James Clyburn said he wasn't even interested in discussing Biden's fitness, but was ready to discuss the GOP's Project 2025 instead. That's all I'm going to talk about, Clyburn said. Clyburn has also indicated he would embrace Vice President Harris should Biden choose to step aside. Support from black leaders is crucial for Biden to maintain the black-led coalition that sent him to the White House in 2020, but that coalition has been dispersing, recent polls show. Though a June Ipsos poll found that 42% of black Americans said they will definitely vote for Joe Biden, compared to 4% who said they will vote for former President Trump. This number is significantly lower than the 87% of black support Biden received in 2020, according to CNN exit polls. If you found this video interesting, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and thanks for watching.